I've got the joy
Down in my heart.
Where?
Down in my heart to stay.
And welcome to the Ruby Tuesday. My name is Ruben, and this is my review for Netflix's highly anticipated Resident Evil live action series. I know the fans will be going into this with worried faces, and people that don't really care about the franchise in a whole, but looking for post-apocalyptic that we have a lot of. People will be going in with that kind of mindset, going, yeah, this could be good. I've seen a trailer. But for the fans, I know you'd be like, is it any good? Let's discuss. Nearly 3 decades after the discovery of the T-virus, an outbreak reveals the Umbrella Corporation's dark secrets, based on the horror franchise. So Ella Balinski plays Jade Wesker, and Lance Reddick, Albert Wesker, the father, and Sienna Udong, Billy Wesker. So here's the thing when it comes to live action Resident Evil movies. We haven't exactly been treated to the best in the genre. I know a lot of people watch them. I own them on Blu-ray, and I watch them considering them as action horror films, but I don't consider them to be in the Resident Evil franchise at all, considering how much they made up and how far they went away from their origins and the storylines. Now, when it comes to the games, I think they're fantastic. There have been some terrible ones and some really fun ones. I think probably my favorite is Resident Evil 5. I've played that through a number of times, and mostly because I like the co-op, although it was hard to play co-op, but just the experience of playing with someone else in that journey was really fun. And then we had the remakes, Resident Evil 2, reminding us of what scared the crap out of us. And I was hoping going into this that we were going to go back to the Resident Evil storylines that really scared the crap out of us, that was really like kind of investigation, but also trying to survive. That's what I wanted from this. And what we get instead is basically 2 stories. We start at one end of the scale where it's post-apocalyptic, and we follow a character that is trying to survive and maybe learn something about the zombies and help the world that way. It's like the end of the world, when the world ended and now there's just a few million humans surviving. And then we go back to when that happened, and so we get to follow the Wesker sisters, who Albert Wesker, and if you know anything about Albert Wesker, if you're a fan, you'll be like, wait, what? And so we're following kind of teenage angst in a Resident Evil series, but also with something happening to one of those teenagers. And that takes a good few episodes. It also doesn't feel like it's equal in parts of storyline. Each episode jumps into the future, we follow that character, and then we jump back and we spend more time in the past or the present, depending on how you look at it. It's because it started in the future, it feels like that is the present timeline, but actually the timeline, the correct past timeline, is the one that we're in. It gets confusing. Anyway, we're jumping through back and forwards in these timelines, and I kept wanting to be in the future timeline. That is where you get the really great creative monsters. That is where you get the budget that they've spent. That is where you get nods to the games, where you see chainsaw character, a number of things that you've seen in the game, or places that you find yourself in the games. I guess great character sets, moments, really great martial art action sequence that reminded me of John Wick. One brilliant jail cell scene. There's a number of creatures that are quite big, that remind you of the kind of the mutant strains when you've been fighting the big monsters. You get to that boss level. That's the sort of thing you find in the future. But in the past, it's trying to teach us or tell us about how we got there. And I found that really frustrating, because I don't think we needed it. Had the story just been about, okay, this is the future and this is how we survive and this is what we're trying to learn. The problem is then there wouldn't be much story. So they're trying to pad it out with, this is how they came to be and this is how Wesker came to be. Now the latter few episodes do get much more interesting in the past. But it takes a good 6 episodes for me to even care about these characters. And I would say caring, like I didn't really, I enjoyed them being on screen, and I'm thankful that there wasn't too much teenage angst in there, but I just didn't see the point of it, and it also took away a lot from what Resident Evil is. So that's coming from like a fan perspective. When we were in the future, I really appreciated the kind of nods to the series, the nods to the games. And they really went for that kind of gory prosthetic makeup, old school horror B movies. A lot of blood, chainsaw attacking, bodies being ripped in half, people being attacked. They went for the gore and they didn't hold back. So in that sense, there's 18 TV series, like adult TV series, and then when we go back to the past, it just feels like a teenage storyline that is for youngsters, and it's a really different, stark contrast that often butts heads and doesn't feel like they belong in the same series. So I loved the future story, and I found the past one tolerable until the last couple of episodes. Now I do wonder what you guys will think, what you'll think about the ending. I'm not going to do spoilers. I do like some of the acting, and I do like the acting from Jade Wesker and Albert Wesker and Billy Wesker, the Wesker family. That was interesting. I didn't care enough for it for me to be like, yeah, that was integral to the storyline. Lance Reddick is always great in whatever he brings. He has an amazing presence to it, and the whole series is filmed really well. It's filmed in Cape Town, so you're going to hear a lot of South African accents because a lot of the extras and some of the main cast are obviously from that cast and crew, from the people that they've collected. They've got the whole sets down there, so that's where they're working, and so that's obviously who they recruited, apart from some of the main actors. And that was fun for me because I'm originally born and bred in South Africa, so hearing some Cape Townian accents was interesting for me. But if this is the precedent of how they're going to want to set out the story, then I'm not invested enough to go, yeah, I like the past, I like the future, I like this topsy-turvy thing. I really feel like there was a disparity in the amount of time that they spend in the future. A lot of times we'd be there for a couple of minutes, and then we'd jump back and spend 20 minutes in the past, and then we'd spend 5 minutes in the future, and then we'd spend another 20 minutes in the past. And I'm just like, I'm much more intrigued and interested in the future content. That is for me where it's tense, where it's scary at times. It has that atmosphere. In the back, I'm like, I don't care about these characters. I know you're trying to build that up, but I don't, there's such an age disparity as well between the characters that they could be different characters altogether. So let me know your thoughts down below. I thought the prosthetic makeup was good. I thought the storyline in the future was fun. The past, I didn't really care about, but I liked some of the acting, like from Lance Reddick, and I liked some of the stuff that we saw about Umbrella Corporation. I think if they incorporated it into one story timeline, maybe more chronological, it would have worked better. I'm going to give this 3.5 Nicolas Cages out of 5. It's always interesting to me when, as reviewers, we get content 99% of the time. It's always early. It's very rare that we don't get given content to review before, but we can always tell if they don't give us any screeners in advance, or we get screeners in advance, but the embargo time is like 8 o'clock in the morning, the day it releases, then we always know that they're not quite sure what people are going to think about it. And that always gives me an idea going, oh, this couldn't be great. So I even went in with a low perception of this and still came out the other end going, it's okay. Let me know your thoughts down below. I hope you enjoyed. If you're a massive fan, I'm sorry if you are disappointed. Let me know your favorite Resident Evil movie, TV series, game, an animated film. There's so much out there. Thanks so much for watching this. Don't forget to check out other horror series and movies reviews, one over here and one over here.